So then, remember this one thing is important. Every day, remind yourself that God accepts you. Let your mind and heart be open to God's transforming Spirit. In this way, you will come to act with greater wisdom, and you will be better able to know not only those things that are good and acceptable, but you want to look for those things that are perfect. Always take a balanced view of yourself and avoid being too self-centered. We do need to get along with each other. Your body has many parts. Each part has its function. So it is with all of us. We've been brought into one body by the new way of Christ, and we all have our part in that body. Each of us has a gift given to us by God, and we are to use the gift we've been given. And let hope keep you joyful. And from there we go to the gospel reading. I had a little difficulty selecting the right gospel for today's address. And in fact, I've changed it from what is on your order of service paper. And I'm taking this reading from St. John's Gospel. It's quite an astonishing passage. In fact, it's almost unbelievable. Perhaps it is unbelievable until we put a particular interpretation upon it. So I shall read it to you now. Would you please stand for the gospel? So morning came, and there stood Jesus on the beach. And he called out to his disciples, "Have you caught any fish?" And they said, "No fish." And he said, "Cast your net on the other side of the boat, and you will make a catch." So they did so. And they found they could not haul the net aboard, for there are so many fish in it. This is the reading from the Scriptures for today. I often return to those words of Nikos Kazantzakis. Nostalgia pushes me there. Yes, I think envy pushes me there. Yes, memory pushes me there. Sadness also pushes me there. A sense of everybody's loss keeps pushing me there. Fear pushes me there. Fear that I might, in old age, not find an adequate substitute for what I found when I was young. Those words of Kazantzakis haunt my memory. We laughed without cause because we were young. We laughed without cause because we were young. We grieved without cause because we were young. We were like fresh bull calves who sigh because their strength is strangling them. And then the other day, a book on my desk fell open at a page for me to read the words of an American psychiatrist of yesteryear, a man called William Menninger. And he said, "The amount of satisfaction you get from life depends largely on your own ingenuity, your own self-sufficiency and resourcefulness. People who wait around for life to supply their satisfaction usually find boredom instead." In the years I spent in Scotland's city of Aberdeen, I often took the bus through a very distinctive meeting of roads, which was called Queen's Cross. And there, right in the middle, stood a statue, larger than life, of Queen Victoria, born on the 24th of May and reigned over the empire as it was for 63 years. We honoured her long reign for years after she had gone. Each year in my primary school, we were taught the importance of Empire Day. Of course, it was Queen Victoria's birthday. Despite her apparent personal moods and the wars that she presided over, and the constant wrangling of her ministers, something in her personality gave a very fractious and scattered empire a lasting coherence, the focus of their energy, the energy that kept a focus on what was important, the energy that kept all of them focused on this person. In her heart was a real goodness that gave people a sense of belonging and a binding sense of mystery. It was there, but so quickly it is gone. Dr. R.D. Laing, we knew him here for a time. In his lifetime, he wrote these words: "As adults, we've forgotten most of our childhood, not only its contents, but also its flavour. As men of the world, as women of the world, we hardly know of the existence of our inner world. We barely remember our dreams, and we make little sense of them when we do. And this affects the energy of our life, the vitality of our life, and the fantasy of our future. The excitement of living this once only life that we're given can suddenly collapse into quarreling, into accusations against each other, into angry unlovabilities. Men will tell me their wives remind them that they're not the men they once were. These men fall to the ground like punctured balloons." There are many other responses to the comments from their wives, but they pass over them to fall in a heap. They could have said to their wife, "But you have been stuck on this theme for the last 14 years. You've not grown. What say we both grow? Do something so that we can be in touch with something different." And so Jesus said, "Cast your net on the other side of your boat." And when they did, they caught so many fish they couldn't haul their nets aboard. Cast your net on the other side, to where you have been fishing all this time. Be different. And when you do, notice everything changes. And in the Old Testament, reading from the prophet Isaiah, it reminded us it was time to put on new strength, energy. We're looking today in this address to see how we can restore our energy when it is gone, when it has been lost. It's a universal need because we all know this loss, and we all know the need to recover our energy, find ways to restore that energy. So let's look for a moment at the loss of our energy. The older people amongst us, myself included, can hear ourselves saying, "I don't have the energy I once had. Often I'm just drained away. I feel done in." And so there is a physical drainage, there is a mental drainage, there is a relationship drainage. And older people then start looking at the younger people. Where do they get their energy from? They burn the candle at both ends, and still the candle is burning. How do they do it? How do they sustain it? And the middle-aged people are likely to have so many things going on. Their workload is so heavy. The demands of people are so heavy. The moral obligations on them are so heavy. But life can come in with many mixed messages. One man tells me he is strongly committed to his career path. He loves his job, and he does it well. But as soon as a couple of people arrive at his workplace in the morning, and they start muttering about this and mumbling about that, his energy begins to drain away. His passion for his work is suddenly sabotaged by these people, or by himself letting them get under his skin with their mutterings and mumblings. And a number of losses quickly follow. There's a loss of enjoyment. There's a loss of enthusiasm. There's a loss of engagement. There's a loss of enhancement. No, it isn't. It is not easy for him to change jobs. No, it is not easy for him to tell these people to be different, to be quiet. No, it is not easy for him to block his own contentment from letting it flow over into his family and into his extended family. It is not easy to pretend a problem does not exist when it's there every morning. It is not easy for him to develop stronger, more rewarding interests elsewhere. So his energy drops. Now, before long, someone is going to tell him, as indeed they have, you're depressed. And so he might be. But where is the basic concern in all this? His internal chemistry, it's true, may be needing some adjustment. His internal restoration processes may have switched off, and they need to be switched on again, so that he can once again tap into the inner strengths of those energies in a more effective way. Or here is another person. She has not been herself since her partner died 6 years ago. In those 6 years, she has changed jobs several times and hasn't found any satisfaction. In those 6 years, she's been to her doctor on at least 3 occasions, more in fact, searching for something not yet showing itself. In those 6 years, she found the people at her church were no longer as supportive as she thought they should be or might be. In those 6 years, she's lost contact with supports that she once thought were kindly disposed towards her. Even her extended family are a bit sick of her. So in her loneliness, she draws on her inner self-strengths and finds they're not there. Energy absent. So it's one thing for us to talk about its loss. What about trying to sustain our energy before we lose it, lest we lose it? Because we're all human, our energy levels are likely to drop. We know that. What can we do to sustain our energy? Jesus' words had some metaphorical meaning to them. He said, you're fishing on the wrong side of the boat. It's a metaphor, I think. Otherwise, what does it mean? It says to sustain your energy levels, choose the side of the boat that is likely to lift your hope, lift your excitement, and give you some positive energy response. Avoid those areas that have been drained of their energy. No fish over there. Go to where the fish might be. Of course, we don't like anybody telling us to do that, because we say, no, we're going to do what we've been doing all this time. The fish should come to us. They should be on the side of the boat where we are. I'm not going to change. Then you made your choice. Choose the side of the boat where the fish are. That means, would you listen to where the real flow of energy is and then choose to be part of it? The flow of energy will be found in good sleep, good exercise, low stress, high health habits, enhancing relationships, enjoyable experiences. Of course, look for all of those. But the flow of energy is where real positive energy is and where you need to be. So look for that. All too frequently, we choose the wrong side of the boat. The side where there is no fish, if you like. The side where there is no reward. The side where there's all negative. The side of wasting your energy. Von Goethe said it years ago. He said, one ought every day at least to hear a little song, to read a good poem, to see a fine picture, and if possible, speak a few reasonable words. What was he saying? He was saying, put some goodness back into where you are. And we need to take the metaphor one step further. How do you sustain your energy when there are no fish? When there's no energy over there? When the expected resources are not there? When we're up against serious illness? When we've had an accident? When we have had many losses? Or just one loss will do, but sometimes one loss attracts another loss and another loss. When the way ahead has lost its energy. How do we sustain energy when energy itself has run out? At that point, we need to find our lifters, our boosters, our inspirations, our carriers of new possibilities. So I turn now to look at restoring energy after it has been lost. Basic to that biblical story, basic to it, it says, listen, get ready for something different. Get ready to be reconnected with a new strength, reconnected with another possibility on the other side of the boat, being reconnected to a new way of being. The cover of the Lord Mayor's booklet for the Lord Mayor's Charitable Foundation says it in one word: connect. Connect. I've simply added a prefix and said reconnect. Connect and reconnect. What will you reconnect to? Reconnect so that your energy can be restored. Reconnect to sources of energy, to the right people, some stories, good images, good dreams, good ideals. We restore our lost energy as we reconnect with a positive energy that is greater than ourselves. I'm going to put to you, get ready for it, I'm going to put to you 7 ways whereby we can find our energy again. And they all happily, helpfully begin with the letter R of our alphabet. So number 1 is simple: reconnect. If you lose your connection, of course, you're out of touch with the energies that you need. You're in touch with your negative stuff, your angry stuff, all that you can do without. Reconnect with a positive energy, number 1. Number 2, reposition yourself. Reposition yourself on the right side of the boat, on the right side of the road. Reposition yourself in experiences and events with people and places and possibilities that are likely to lift your energy, that are likely to open you to a different story. Look for your lifters. There are plenty of downers. Look for your lifters. Believe in them. Number 3, recover the goals that are really important and that are more likely to give you good energy. You see, frequently we get set on goals that are negative, or goals that will not bring us what we say we really want. So recover the right goal. What is your goal, really? If your goal is to be happy, then why are you so angry and sad? So how do you get moving to recover the goals? You need to state what your goal is. And the goal that is likely to lead you into good energy. Number 4, remember your resilient adaptation. We can all be too fixed, too pig-headed, too paranoid about what other people are doing to us and what we will not do and what life is doing to us. You can be so angry that this has happened or that has happened, that the fish are not swimming the right way in the right place. And that means that while you are fighting over something, you're draining your energy away. You're draining the energy from yourself, and you're draining the energy from other people because they move away too. Resilient adaptation means having that excellent capacity to change, to move into a stream of things more likely to re-energize you. Resilient means to come on back into the right flow, because so often you can be drifting out to sea whether you've lost your energy. Number 5 says, replenish your streams with new fish. Of course, I'm talking metaphorically. Replenish your streams. Instead of waiting for energy to flow to you, sometimes you can do things, frequently you can do things that will go a long way of replenishing your reserves of energy. Replenish your streams. That was number 5, wasn't it? Yes. Number 6. Be ready for a reawakening. Reawakening to the surprises of faith and religion. Now, I know that many people say, religion, it's so boring, it's lost its energy long since. But be reawakened to a surprise. To a surprise. And this is what this passage from the gospel said to us today. Jesus says, you're on the wrong side of the boat. Surprise, the fish are on the other side of the boat. So that provokes you to explore new ways, and in doing so, find the way to a more authentic, creative response to life, a different way of being in the world. The astonishing words of Jesus here, I think it's quite an astonishing passage, really. Brings quite a surprise. Why would he say that? Why is the passage saying that, if you don't wish to attribute the words to Jesus himself? It's to say life has a surprise, that when all the energy has over there, you can find yourself over here, and there's new energy. New energy that comes suddenly, that comes slowly, but when it does, rejoice. Rejoice. You know, someone here said to me a few weeks ago, after one of my addresses, that I forgot to say, no, I didn't forget, I just failed to say, that with all religions, shall I say, negative stuff, its guilt and its downsides, it has one important major aspect. And my critic, I thank him, said, you've got to tell us religion brings us joy. Oh, brings back some joy into life. If it doesn't do that, you're quite right. If it doesn't do that, you've lost its value. So, it promises to bring joy back into life. So my number 7 is to rejoice. in the anticipation, in the expectation, and in the rediscovery, the energy of life. Energy that flows from all that is given to us, to nurture us, to excite us, to believe in the good things in life, to embrace the flow of life, the fantasy of the future. All that is good. So remember, yes, rejoice. So 7 things are there. Number 1, reconnect with the givens of life, the given energy. It's there. Number 2, reposition yourself to be in the flow of it, the flow of positive energy. Number 3, recover your real goals, the goals that you really want, the goals that are excitingly important. Recover your goals. Number 4, remember your resilient adaptation. We all have that capacity to bounce back, that resilient adaptation. Number 5, you can replenish your streams with new energy, with new ideas, with new relationships, with new life, with new faith. Number 6, be reawakened to the surprise of a new way of doing things, a new faith, new resources for your religion. Your religion can do that. And number 7, remember to, what was number 7? What was number 7? Rejoice. Remember to rejoice. Rejoice that the lost energy can be restored. Would you please stand? Say with me, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. And the blessing? The blessing. May the God you see in all the colours of creation arouse in you a sense of awe and wonder. May the God who is a sacred presence be real to you. May the God who is a source of inspiration and courage keep calling you forwards. May your God go with you and bless you today and always.